When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I...
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly, and you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
Okay, so we got some catching up to do, and I had a lot going on this weekend.
Yeah, the weekends are very busy for me now too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we did this. Kelly and I, bless our hearts, trying to remember the name of this festival.
I wrote it.
It's been the Texas Country Reporter Festival for years, and now that they've changed,
We're having an identity crisis.
yeah, we don't know what to do. It's now the Crossroads of Texas Country Festival, and they had bands all day and everything. So Kelly and I went, and Kelly had to work, so
Work in quotation.
yeah. By work, she hung out. I went and hung out with her, and then I would walk around, and I walked around with different people because both my daughters came. And at first, I walked around with one daughter, and then the other daughter joined us, and we walked around together. And then one had to go to work, and the other one had to go home for something, so she left. So then I walked it with a friend. You walked with the girls, and I. Mm-hmm. I walked that damn thing with like
you got your
five
steps
people. Everyone was like, "You want to go walk around and look at the food with me?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, okay," because I wasn't really with one person. So I was like, "Okay." I walked to the food area. I bet they thought I was eating all day, and I didn't get food every time, but I walked over there. But it's just a cool little thing. I wore myself out.
Yeah.
I physically wore myself out. And I was like, why am I so tired? Which I'm going to get to in a minute, not part of this conversation. But I was exhausted by the time that I left there. Mm-hmm. And Alan, Amy, and I were going to record there and do he has like a little window that you can see from outside, and we can record, and you can see us as we're recording. Mm-hmm. And so we were going to record a podcast because Al got a random, what he thought was a great idea. And hell no. His restaurant was so packed that the only table they were not using was the one we record on.
Yeah.
And there's no way you would have been able to hear a podcast. And he was very busy, and Amy wasn't feeling great, so she didn't want to come into town. So we were like, okay, we're not doing that. So we did show up, and I did meet a few listeners of the other podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
It was so loud. I am sorry if you're listening to this podcast also, because I don't necessarily remember everybody's names, because it was so loud and
so much
busy.
going on.
I got overstimulated.
Oh,
I was like, there's just
quickly.
too many people here.
Yeah.
You know me. If we go to Al's or something and there's more than like our same 6 people I talk to, I typically leave. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to go. And I just don't thrive on the crowd. I thrive on a conversation with like 2 buddies, you know. And so I got a little overstimulated, and we had told everybody to meet us there at 4. And by 4:20, I was like, okay, I'm out. I met everybody. Like, I couldn't stay any longer. It was just too much. I went too early was my first mistake. Mm-hmm. It's so freaking hot in Texas for October. So I actually dressed appropriate for it, and it was so hot and sunny, I wore a hat thinking I'm going to cover my face, whatever. And that did work, and I'm glad I wore a hat. But I wore my boots. I should have just worn sandals, except I did get 5,000 compliments on my hat and my boots.
Yeah, you were working it.
They were looking cute. I'm not going to lie. They were looking cute. Do I have any pictures of it? No, I don't. But you're just going to have to trust me.
Yeah, just know. She was looking
One
cute.
of the listeners that met me over there, she literally, I just walked by. She goes, I know you're Zeta. I know you're Zeta. And I was like, I am Zeta.
You found me.
But I had another lady. It was really sweet. And I really, you are so good about this. You compliment people all the time.
I try to, yeah.
You really are very good at it. And I recognize you do it. And I've always kind of been a good complimenter. But like sometimes I remind myself, like, today you're going to compliment some women, or you're going to compliment people that look like
I always try to say out loud what I think inside my head when it is positive and when it is uplifting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I don't comment on people because I am very sensitive to comments myself. Right. So I never want to make somebody feel uncomfortable or say the wrong thing, or maybe they're in their own little world and I just popped their bubble and I didn't mean to. Never. But when I see something in passing that makes me smile, that brings me joy, that I'm like, oh, that is so cute, or oh my gosh, I love that. I try to make sure if I have the time and I feel like they wouldn't mind it. I try to give those out because they're just like they're just like smiling at someone. Like it's so simple to do, and it makes a difference.
There's a lot of people that don't have people compliment them.
Yeah.
And not because they don't deserve compliments. A lot of times you're just in a everyday rut with the same people, and why would they be like, oh, today you look amazing. I saw you yesterday, and the day we lived together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's just maybe not be some,
Yeah.
When you're younger, it's different because like you go out, you're all dressed up. Oh, hell yeah, we look good.
Yeah.
You look great, whatever. You go to a club, you see your friends. Oh my God, you look great. That's how you hear it. But once you get into like mundane everyday life, like just children, mom, whatever, you don't, even though people might think it, you just don't hear it because you're just kind of going about the hustle of the day. So I do try to compliment people. I saw one lady, I don't know if you saw her. I only saw her one time. And she had to be taller than me. She was a little taller than I am. She looked like a model. And she was built like a model, like very tall and very, lanky. She had the biggest natural afro I have seen in a long time. And it was amazing. And she was a very dark black lady, and very dark, like just stunning skin. And then she had this outfit on. I don't even know how to explain the outfit, except it was like it was made for her and her look. She just was rocking her look. And I saw her and I like double taked her because I just was like, that's a beautiful woman, And she was young. I mean, I would guess she was 22, 23, And so I kind of double taked, and I kind of think she saw me double take. I was like, you are beautiful. Like, just, you are beautiful. And she started laughing. She was like, well, thank you. And here I am in my cowboy hat and my boots. And I was like, I just can't, you're just a beautiful woman, And she was like, well, thank you. Well, right after that, I went to see you at the shop, and I'm coming back from the shop, and I'm walking up the side of Al's building. And there's not a lot of people there because this is off where all the people are. So there's two ladies that are sitting on a bench. And one is probably about my age, and one is, I'm guessing the other one, it might be like her mom. And they're just sitting there cute, And I see them like start talking about me. Like, how you can tell someone's talking about you, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
what are they saying about me? Like, it's clearly about me. I'm the only person coming from that direction. And I get up closer. She's like, I just have to tell you, I just love everything about you. I love everything about you. I love the earrings. I love the hat. I love the boots. I love the dress. I love your hair. You look amazing. You look amazing. And I was like, thank you so much. And I had just done that for that girl. So I was just like, man, that was karma coming back for me.
Came and slapped you around the face.
Yes,
Felt
and
good,
I got it. I had a lot of people compliment my hat and my earrings and my boots. I did because they were colorful, so they were eye-catching. And it feels good.
Sure does.
And so I'm trying to like put that energy back out. So this week I have been trying to compliment people. The first thing I think when they're always honest, but I always try to. And so, like, there's a gas station that I stop at maybe 3 times a week on my way to work if I stop at the gas station. And there's this lady in there that's always just in such a great mood. Like, she's just always happy. And there's a guy in there. At one time, they didn't have mayonnaise out, and I put mayonnaise on my breakfast sandwich, and I was like, I made a joke about it, like, we don't like mayonnaise around here, So now every time I go in there, he's like, we don't like mayonnaise around here,
Just be warned.
Right. And so I went in there, and I thanked him for always being, so courteous and sweet and remembering me. And I thanked her for always being in a good mood, and it's a good way to start your day. Because, I go in at fucking ass crack of dawn.
Yeah.
And so that was that's my catching up on that. That's my part of the festival. That's what I enjoyed the most about the festival. It just I got so much love from people, but also I was able to give love out to people, and it was pretty cool.
I love that for you.
I saw everybody I've ever known though.
Yeah.
Ellis County is
in
small.
your entire life.
At one point,
some people that you forgot.
The mayor of Red Oak walked by, and he was like, "Hey Zeta," we went to high school together. He's like, "Hey Zeta, da 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 da." So we hi, and he leave. And my daughter's like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's the mayor of Red Oak." And she was like, "Of course it is." Turn around immediately. I see Chris Wright, Mayor Pro Tem, which means he's second in charge. He's like the assistant mayor for Waxahachie. I'm like, "Oh, Chris, da da da." We talk. He walks in. Zoe's like, "Who's that?" I was like, "That's the Mayor Pro Tem of Waxahachie." She was like, "What the hell? Where are you?
Where are we right now?"
I was like, "I don't know what's going on either." So I know a lot of people of a lot of different backgrounds.
This is my life.
Yeah. So That was me catching up on that.
Well, I was working on Saturday at Atomic Vintage, and so I started off early in the morning, and I feel like I got a really good gig because I didn't have to stay outside all day in the heat. I was in a nice little air-conditioned shop, and I still had people coming in because it stayed, pretty steady. And so I got my fill of people and got to talk to people and see everybody that came in for the festival. And a couple of friends stopped by, and I love it when my friends stop by because it helps pick up the day. And there's always people in there. Like there's either it's packed in there or there's nobody in there, and I'm sitting on the couch, eating bonbons again. But that's it. But I really love it when my friends come in and there's other people in the shop, because people will just hang out in the shop. They'll just sit down in the chairs or on the couch and chit chat. And while people are coming in and out and looking around and, browsing, and it's such a cool feel. Yeah. I love that shop so much. And I wanted to do a shout out to Kelly. One of our listeners came, and I finally got to meet her. And I haven't had much conversation with her because she's on Facebook. Yeah. So she.
And I'm sorry I missed you, Kelly, because that's the lady I told her. I told her where to stay. I was like, do not get a hotel on this road. Do not get I was like, I'm sorry, but it's just, you don't want to do it. Just trust me.
Yeah. So she came in and we got to talk for a while, and she told me about how she talks to you a lot on Facebook, but she had she has an Instagram, but she's never on it.
I can't believe I didn't see her. Once you showed me the picture, I was like looking for the camouflage jacket. I was hoping I'd get to meet her.
Yeah, and so it was a lot of fun. She asked about you. She asked how your book is coming along, and I was like, yeah, about that.
I'm working on it.
It's on the list.
I've decided I want to I'm going to take a creative writing class. I'm like an online class or something. I think that's what I need to get the ball going better. I think I don't know how to put it all together. Yeah. And so I've decided that's what I think I'm going to do.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I like that for you.
We'll see if I really do it, y'all. Okay, so this is what I kind of touched on about I was really sore. Mm-hmm. And I've talked about it on Facebook. I've talked about it on here, going through this perimenopause crap. Well, one of my new pains has been extreme body ache. Like my joints hurt. Gross. Like I feel like I've been in a car wreck or I have the flu.
How?
24/7. 24/7.
That sounds horrible.
It is.
Sorry.
And it's been going on for about 2.5 weeks. It's been really bad. Since before we went to the cabin. I was feeling that way at the cabin. And I just kept thinking, I just need more rest or, I don't know. And first I was like, it's because I'm on my period. Then I was like, am I getting sick? Like, what is going? Am I getting arthritis? Like, what the hell is happening? But it's all random different parts of my body. But primarily it's been the tops of my feet.
Interesting.
Which makes no sense, but they hurt really bad. So by the end of the day, for about a month, by the end of the day, my feet, I'm like, this is weird that my feet hurt so bad. Yeah. I don't work on my feet anymore. I worked on my feet for years and it never was a problem. So I was just like, I don't know what's going on. And so finally, last week I put on Facebook, I was like, girls, help me out. This is kicking my ass. I am so sore. It was Saturday night that did it to me. When I got home, because I was like, I might go to Marilee's party. I might try to pop over there for like an hour or two. That was what I was thinking, because she had a Halloween party. And her and Robert were so excited about it.
It was so much fun.
That I really wanted to go over there. I couldn't move. And you and I, when we went to the cabin, we were going to go to the funeral. And remember, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that was a back issue. And that is a different pain. This has nothing to do, that's a whole different problem. Mm-hmm. So I have two problems, my back and this. So I'm just like, what the hell? So I put it on Facebook and I'm like, girls, help me out. What's your suggestion? And I got all kinds of suggestions. But the easiest one that I could do immediately was start taking collagen. And it's just a vitamin. And they have different collagens for different things. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think.
Interesting.
But 1 and 3 are the ones I believe you're supposed to concentrate on for this kind of problem, I guess. And when you go through menopause and your hormones change, you stop producing as much collagen. And that is what makes your joints hurt and stuff. And so people were like, start taking collagen. So I go and I get it, and I start taking it on Sunday. 1 dose on Sunday, because Saturday was so bad for me. So 1 dose on Sunday night, 1 dose on Monday morning, and by Tuesday afternoon, I was feeling probably 50% better.
Nice.
Like that quickly.
Isn't it crazy if you just have a deficiency in one thing?
Yeah.
And you get that taken care of, the crazy amount of better you feel?
Yes. And so I was like, holy hell, that really, girls, try it.
Get you some collagen.
I'm serious. I was like, that's crazy. So now I've been taking it since Sunday, and it's almost completely gone.
Wow.
And I still have the back problem, but I got a muscle relaxer for that.
All right.
And I went, but I went to my doctor, but I only will take my back doesn't hurt all the time. It only hurts when I'm driving. It's something about the seat in my truck. And if I'm longer than like 30 minutes in the car. So when I went to see my dad this weekend, horrible pain. And so when I went to the doctor, I was telling the doctor about everything. And she told me also to take turmeric, which is also natural.
Yeah.
And it was funny because not 2 days before, I'm talking to Rick and about the doctors and blah, blah, blah. And he's saying, oh, doctors just want to make money. And that's why it's a pharmaceutical, da-da-da-da. That's why they never give you natural remedies, regular doctors. And I go in there, and that's the first thing out of her mouth. And I was like, So I come back, and I'm telling him about it and Madison about it. And Madison's like, because, she's going to be at school to be a nurse.
That's suspicious.
And so it really is helping. So I'm going to keep y'all updated because I know a lot of our listeners are in the same shoes as me. I cannot, it's like night and day.
Turmeric
I have been
and collagen.
in so much pain.
Put that on your list.
Now if I could deal with my dry lips, that's a whole nother. I'm so dry this week. I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
That's my catching. Oh, I went to my dad's house. A long story short, the girlfriend has moved out. I went over there to help him see what he needed. Clean the house, change litter, take care of the animals, pick up prescriptions, that kind of stuff. And I had a really good day with him. And, he got around better than I thought for having his leg cut off and not having his fake leg yet. I did have to clean his wound.
I do not envy you.
I don't envy me either because I'm horrible at stuff like that. And I was like, Dad, I couldn't look. I had to look at it. He was, don't be a pussy, Zeta. Just look at it. Just look. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. He called me a pussy, my dad. I know. What a shock that I talk like I do. And so I did that. And now my sister and I are going back this weekend, and we are going to help him get his house back to looking like his house looked before his girlfriend lived with him, because she took down a lot of things that we feel like need to be up, and he agrees. And I went into his house, in his bedroom, bless its heart. It was just completely empty of things on the wall.
Yeah.
And so we still got everything. So we're going back. We're going to put his house back together.
Nice.
And I did a little bit of that this weekend, and I immediately grabbed my late stepmother's picture and stuck it right back on the mantle. Petty, yes. And I told him, don't you fucking take that shit down again.
Petty crime fighting right here.
I love my stepmom. So, Susan was a nice lady, but, she wasn't my stepmom. So that's my catching up.
All right. So for my rest of the weekend, I did go to Marilee and Robert's Halloween party, and it was so much fun. They did such a good job. They live out in the woods, smack dab in the middle of the woods. So around their back perimeter fence line is where we walked along. So you had the fence to your right, and you walked along inside the fence, and they had different stages of this haunted walk that they had made out in their woods. And it was amazing. Did I jump every single time that you were supposed to jump and get scared? Absolutely.
Wow.
Did freaking Jeremy and Chad, because they were taking 3 people at a time, and Jeremy and Chad had gotten there. I'm standing there talking to them, so that we all go together on our turn, and they make me go first. I'm like, I'm with 2 guys, and why am I going first? They're like, you got this, Kelly, you got this. We know you got the knife.
Well, and I'm pretty sure Jeremy helped set it up.
Yeah. But you've got the knife, so you have to go first. And so we're walking through, and so they have kind of trash bags to stage off the different stages of it. So you're having to walk through this, trash bag that you don't know what's on the other side of whatever this is. So I'm going, and my favorite parts of it were at one point they have some lights back in the trees, so you're seeing the silhouette of the trees, and you see hanging body bags in the trees, and I was like, oh my gosh! So you're looking out into the trees
and
because you're distracted, and behind you comes a freaking werewolf out of the freaking woods to try and eat your face off, and I almost had to go inside and change.
You should have pushed Jeremy and Chad into the werewolf.
No, I'm taking off the other direction. I was gone.
Yeah.
So, and my other favorite part was they had a skeleton riding a tractor that was looked like it was like going off into a ditch. It was pretty fun too.
Yeah. I saw the video and pictures, and it looked like they got in it.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad they put so much work into that. So I'm glad it turned out.
And there was quite a lot of people there too, and everybody dressed up.
Wow.
I walked in that house and I was like, yes! I was like, good job, everybody. I came to the right party.
My family did a baby shower / Halloween party the same night in San Saba, and I was supposed to go to that, but I canceled to be with my dad.
Yeah.
And the pictures are so cool.
Yeah.
I love that everybody dresses
Yeah,
up.
I loved it. It was so much fun. And then Sunday, I finally got to spend time with my boyfriend because he was off of work, which does not happen very often. And I was home, which also doesn't happen very often. And his kids were there too, both of them, which also does not happen very often.
Get a
So
family
we
day.
all had a family day. We went out to lunch together, and then we went and saw the new Venom movie, The Last Dance. And it was so much fun. And then we went grocery shopping because, I usually go grocery shopping for us on Mondays so we can spend Sundays together and not have to do it. But his daughter needed some stuff, so we just all went and just had a whole full family day, and it was wonderful, and I absolutely loved it. But I got me some lighter fluid, well, not lighter fluid, so butane to refillable lighters. So I have this big lighter that I really love. And but it's out of butane, so I got some, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna refill my lighter. And Dante's like, I'm sitting on the bed, mind you.
No.
And I'm like, he's like, do you know what you're doing? I was like, yeah, you just open this up. I was like, it has pictures, like you're just,
And
you
he
just
took it from you?
You just fill it up. No, he didn't. He was like, okay. And so I do what it says to do, and I put it all back together, and I light it, and the whole thing is engulfed in flames, and my hands.
Yes.
And I was like, and I closed it really fast. And I look at him, and he has this look on his face. I was like, I don't think it was supposed to do that. He's like, no, it's not.
No.
Give me that. And then now I can't refill my lighter anymore.
No. As soon as you said you had to buy butane for it, I was like, I'd never use that lighter again. I am the worst at anything where I have to refill, buy a replacement, something. I'm not doing it. I'll buy a whole new whatever it is. I'm not doing it. I just suck at that.
Well, I really love this lighter though because I bought it because it's black and it has a skull on it, and you can just
it's
refill
Halloween,
them.
so you
and
need
so
it.
I know that's why I was doing this,
Yeah.
and it just ended poorly for me.
sorry
so
for that.
I need assistance with butane, apparently.
Same girl.
All right, Zeta. So I've got some thoughts.
I cannot wait to hear.
Well,
what are your
thought.
thoughts?
One thought at least. So I was
got one thought.
I was thinking about doing a shop my closet. So I don't know if you've ever done this before, but it's kind of like a car meet where a group of people all meet up with things that they have gone through their closet and their wardrobe, things that they are going to get rid of and donate. And you set up little booths. You can either do it out of your car, or out of your trunk, or set up a table of the stuff that you are getting rid of. And some people just do swaps. So it's like, I'd like to have this, I'll swap you this. Or some people will just, do it like a garage sale type situation, okay, this much for that, this much for that. I've done it both ways, but it's so much fun. So I was thinking that might be a fun meet and greet kind of thing that we could do is a little shop my closet, meetup swap.
We'd have to talk about logistics. In my head immediately, I thought downtown Waxahachie, but a lot of our listeners are in Dallas.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's something. We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd never heard of this until you brought it up. I've never heard. I have shopped out of someone's car before though, but maybe I didn't know that's what I was doing because she posted online a lot of clothes, not a lot, but a lot, as in a lot.
Yeah.
And it still didn't make sense. But a one word, lot separate word, not a lot one word. Anyways, so basically she posted a picture of a bunch of clothes and said they're all this size, between this size and this size, and you get everything for one amount, know. And I don't remember how much it was, but it was an ass load of clothes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I'll take it, because I was like, anything I'm not going to wear, I'll just donate. Because
Right.
it was so cheap.
Yeah.
I ended up wearing almost everything. Once I got it home and started looking through it, I was like, I think she stole this.
She was trying to make a quick buck.
She either is a shopaholic or she stole it, because so much of it still had tags on it. And it was all pretty new stuff.
Yeah.
It was current. cute stuff. I was like, and a lot of it was from the same store. And I was like, every time I'd put something on, I was like, is this stolen? Because I worked in retail management forever.
Just say a quick prayer. He's like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for my free shirt. No, it was like 10 cents maybe each. I don't know, but you have probably worn some of these clothes. There's some of my still I use clothes.
Well, I think it would be a lot of fun. Am I currently driving around with a big bag of clothes that I've been needing to donate in my trunk? That probably sparked this. Yes, I am. Yes. So if you'd be interested in
give us some
doing
feedback.
Little I think that it would be fun. I love to thrift shop. That's one of my favorite things to do because you never know what you're going to find.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like gives that kind of like farmers market kind of thing.
Well, and they have that Facebook page for Waxahachie that's like Girlfriends of Waxahachie, and it's basically just a woman's group, and they meet up and have to make friends for women that want to make friends. That'd be a great place to talk about it.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So
I don't have Facebook, so
I know, but I will be. Clearly, I'll have to do this.
I've been thinking about remedying that situation, but I don't.
Yeah, it's not your thing.
It really isn't, but who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe we can get into it. You got any thoughts?
I do. So I don't see it on here. Oh, because we didn't. Okay. So one of them is Madison came home from the gym recently, my stepdaughter, and she said that there was a lady in the locker room completely nude. Like she came in and just stripped down within like 2 feet of Madison. Mm-hmm. And Madison's like, I don't want to see a naked woman at the gym. I don't understand why she got completely naked. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't understand that either. It seems like if you're going to get completely naked, you would go into a stall or something. Yeah. And but I've seen women do it too at the gym. Yeah. And I mean, with you, we've seen it together. We've seen women. And I think it's awesome. They're so comfortable with themselves, and that's awesome. I just find it there are minors. Yeah. And that's my thought process is I don't want to be nude anywhere where there's someone under 18 might walk in and see me. Yeah. And I don't want anyone under 18 nude in front of me. Yeah. And I just find that.
I very much agree. Like, because the thing is, I understand, like, when you're in school, like, sometimes, the locker room situation, people just change. They just don't care. If you're in the girls' locker room, you can walk around naked if you want to, legally, I guess. Like, that you're in the locker room. You can do that. But I'm very much for situational awareness and knowing who's in this area and knowing how I want to approach that situation, because if I needed to get in and get out really quick and I didn't have any other option, okay, I'll get the job done. But most of the time for me, if I'm going to get completely nude, I'm going to be in a changing room, a fitting room, or in a bathroom stall. Right. To protect myself and to protect everyone around me.
I just find, and I thought that before, but hearing it come from her, how uncomfortable it made her think, and I thought.
But some people I know they don't. They're just like, I'm in the locker room, need to change real quick, get this done, done. They're just focused on them, not about their surroundings.
I have been in that same locker room as her, and I don't know if you were with me this time or not, because you and I used to go there together. And this lady was completely naked, talking on her phone, and like for 20 minutes, she didn't attempt to dress anything, just not an ounce of clothes on her, like everything out, and great for her. She looked amazing, great for her. I just thought, not everybody wants to see this. Like, it doesn't matter that your body looks amazing. I don't care what your body looks like. I just thought this is weird to me. It's almost exhibitionist, and I don't want to be a part of your exhibition.
Yeah, I very much respect.
You can't get consent.
I have more of a respect for other people's boundaries. Because you might be well within your boundaries doing something like that in a public locker room, but that doesn't mean it's within the boundaries of the other people who are in this public locker room. Right. And you need to be respectful of other people's boundaries and crossing those.
Whereas this may seem hypocritical, but I'm going to put it out there. If a woman, myself, I when I breastfed, I would cover myself. When I was at home, I wouldn't, but whenever I was. Whenever I went out in public and had to breastfeed, I would cover myself with, a cover of something. I'd make sure the baby wasn't hot. I'd be careful. You figure a way of doing it. But if a woman does want to breastfeed and not I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't either.
She's feeding a baby.
You're literally keeping a life alive.
Yeah. So I have no problem with breastfeeding in public.
Yeah.
At all.
You do you, girl.
You do you.
Whip them both out.
Yeah. I don't care. I don't care at all. And if I go to a beach and there's a topless option, I know I'm at a topless option beach. So yeah, no, whatever.
Exactly.
When I go to Barton Springs, and it is topless option there.
One of my favorite places.
Yeah, and I never have a problem with it because we know going into it.
Yeah, you have consented.
I've consented.
Yes.
I've consented to bring my children into that situation. I've consented to bring myself into that situation. And I think that's different. So I just want to make sure that I'm not like confusing that. I guess. So that's my thought.
Interesting.
That's all the thoughts I got.
All right, now it's time for text from Zeta. So every week, Zeta sends me some text messages, and they are just usually 1 or 2 words. And I know that is supposed to be in our folder for the podcast. I don't know what it's going to be about. I just wait and see. So the only one that I have for this week is living room families.
And the reason she didn't have any is we've been together a lot. I don't have to text her us here. So this is something I thought about, and I saw a girl talking about it, and she was talking about, I didn't realize that there were living room families. She was like, my family, we get home from work, we go to our rooms. Or from school, we go to our rooms. We go, and that's where everyone does everything. They play their video games, or they study, or whatever, and they go to their rooms. And they were like, and she was like, we pretty much spent the rest of our night in our rooms. And even for dinner, they would get up and make their plates
and go to the
rooms. Or she said her mom wasn't much of a cook, so there was a lot of fast food, or bringing in food, or like microwave food, and so that kind of takes away from the dinner. At family dinner aspect. And she was like, but then as I became a teenager and a young adult and I started going over to other people's houses, I realized there are people that don't do that they're living room families, and they spend time in their living room hanging out together as a family, and they watch movies together, and they watch TVs together, and they do all these things together as a family in the living room. And she goes, and I decided to make my family a living room family because I realized we missed a lot of bonding. And most of those families had very close-knit relationships even years later once they've moved out of their family home.
Yeah.
Because they had that so much interaction with each other in the home.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it, and I think that is probably more common now than it used to be, because back in the day, you didn't have a TV in your bedroom when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Very, very few people had a TV in their bedroom, and if they did, it didn't have surface. There was no cable.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a bunch of video games. It was like Atari, maybe Sega, if you had a ton of money. Once I was older, because Sega came out when I was, 7th grade. And so I started thinking that my generation probably benefited and there weren't as many bedroom families.
Yeah.
Because the only TV was in the living room.
Yeah, it forced you to be a living room family.
It did. And people didn't eat out as much back then. Like there weren't as many fast food places, and there weren't as many, I didn't know anyone that went out to dinner at a restaurant on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
When I was growing up. Now, that's really common.
Yeah.
And so my family, growing up, we were a living room family. We did spend a lot of time in the living room and the kitchen. And I am a kitchen family, as you know. We are my living room is right next to my kitchen, and I have sat on my couch maybe 4 times. We didn't have a TV in the living room until Rick moved into the house, but we also didn't have them in our bedrooms. My kids had one in their bedroom if they were going to play video games, but really, they would just move it into the living room so they could all play it together, and then they'd move it back to their bedroom to play by themselves occasionally. But I always liked them playing in the living room. And so they just would move their TVs back and forth, basically. And so the kids, I'd say, spend time in the living room, but close enough that I can talk to them and I'm near them, But really, the heart of my house is the kitchen.
Yep.
And it's one of my favorite things that we do. And I know it means a lot to my kids, and I know Rick likes it a lot, and I know Madison, they have said that that's something that they really like about living here, is that we always get together at the end of the night and have dinner together. And while I'm making dinner, and I always make a full meal, Sunday through Wednesday, I make a big meal. And Friday and Saturday is date night. Kids go out with us sometime for dinner too. And then Sunday is grilling, whatever. And Thursday's leftover night. So we're still together at the dinner table. We're just eating the leftovers. And so every night we get together, and every night we spend time together. And what did you do today? How was your day? We know everything about all our coworkers. We know everything about our best friend and what's going on with our best friends. We know a lot about things that we would not know if we did not sit together at dinner, or when I'm cooking, people like to come in and hang out with me. You've done it.
My favorite thing.
I mean, it's what I do. And I'm just real thankful for it. And when I started doing it was when I got divorced, because we were not a kitchen family. I wouldn't call us a living room family. I think we were just trying to stay afloat, working and chasing toddlers and little kids for so long that once I got divorced, and it was just me with the kids when we were home. It wasn't like I was running off to work while he fed them or vice versa. It always was about what I could do. I made a goal to have those special moments. And I think it's probably part of the reason my kids won't leave.
Yeah. Because they're still attached.
I mean, so what is y'all's situation? Are y'all a kitchen family?
No.
Y'all don't really cook.
No.
So
I don't cook, and in Dante's house, he has a tiny house. He has a very old house.
Right.
That was built in frost, like way back in the
Yeah.
day. I love this house.
it's like mine if they hadn't added on to
He
it.
has a little gingerbread house, and I love it so much. But it's very limited on space, especially he has 2 kids, and it is a 2-bedroom house, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house.
Right.
So
the living room has become y'all's bedroom.
we have converted the living room into a master bedroom, and his kids have the 2 bedrooms that join together. And then there's a kitchen, and then there is a room that is for like a dining room, or like a sunroom kind of thing.
And that's your closet.
But that is my closet. That's my
Your
my
space.
dressing room.
Yeah.
But
So
it
y'all
wasn't.
are bedroom people.
But it wasn't being used. That's
Right.
why they never had a kitchen, and we don't own a dining room
So
table.
you're saying before you moved in, they were already not a living room or kitchen.
They were a bedroom family.
And do they go in by themselves, or do they hang out, play video games
and
together?
And the thing is, the way that his house is, it goes in a circle. And so you walk from the kitchen to my dressing room into our bedroom, which is the living room, but the bedroom. You turn the corner, and there's a door that goes into his daughter's room. Then there's a door, and then that goes right into the bathroom.
So you kind of have to walk through each other's rooms?
Yeah, so it's an open door policy in his house.
Yeah.
So it's like a revolving door. So they'll go, his kids are right next to each other with a bathroom in between. So they will go in and out of each other's rooms and talk and play and whatever.
Yeah.
And then his room is right here. So they come in and out. So it's like a revolving door household. That's what we are.
I think your setup is different than most people's, though.
Yeah, it very much is. But it works for us. But that's what they were doing anyways before I came into the household.
Yeah.
They weren't a let's make dinner, sit down family. They have dinner together. They spend plenty of time together. But it's not those kids aren't going to sit down at a dining room table and sit and eat. They'll do that when we all go out to eat as a family.
Yeah.
But other than that, they like to be in their rooms. They like to be doing their thing. They're teenagers, especially now. So
see, and that's part of it too. Once they're teenagers, it's a little harder. Now, my teens are a little different.
Yeah.
But those teens, they're involved in a lot of extracurricular and that kind of stuff.
They are so busy.
So that makes it a whole different ballgame.
Yes.
That's like you're a team family.
Yes.
I call that team family. That means instead of dinner tables, you're sitting on sidelines or on the side of the court or whatever the case is. And I can see that that definitely happens. That was the case for my little brother and sister that lived with my dad and my stepmom. They were very involved in sports, so they were always on the sidelines and doing that. So they weren't a dinner family or a kitchen family. But once they grew up, we went right back to being kitchen and living room people. And my dad's house has always been very much kitchen and living room people, so I guess I just follow it. But I just started thinking about it. When she said that, I just started thinking, we all have different dynamics. And if you feel like you're missing that thing, people they can change it, twerk it, to whatever works for their family and whatever the case is. But, the best bonding and conversations I've had have been in a kitchen.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of cooking.
Yeah, you do.
So that's my text.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.